It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Nøgne in Norway, and it's a bottle of their Belgian Saison. It's coming in at 6.6% ABV in a 500 milliliter bottle. Big fan of this brewery, always have been. There's a look at the bottle cap. Without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass. We got a 2-finger white head. Good levels of carbonation. A light golden amber coloured beer. Bits of sediment there floating around in the glass. As you would expect from this style of beer, this Belgian Saison style of beer. It looks very good, very clean. Let's get the aroma. Oh yeah. Nothing crazy, nothing like Belgian stroke American Saison or American hop Saison or nothing bonkers, just a classic funky horse blanket like Saison. Smells really good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. A little bit of dryness, funkiness, horse blanket. It's just really funky and lovely. And as it's a 6.5% ABV beer, it's got lovely body to it. Beautifully rounded, full-bodied Belgian Saison that's been brewed in the heart of Norway. I feel really lucky to be reviewing beer as we do here over here in Wales in the UK. I'm just looking out into my bar. Sometimes I can feel a little bit daunted with the amount of beer that we have here to review. And then there's other times where I just think, you know, I've just dusted this bottle off. I've had it a while. Nøgne sent me this beer probably back in the summer. But because it's a Saison, because it relies on the yeasts to give the beer its flavour, it doesn't matter that I've had to dust it off. You know, we're reviewing this beer in more or less the last week of December in 2020. It doesn't matter that I've dusted it off after maybe 6 months, because it's a beautiful yeast forward Belgian style Saison. And just to touch on that, on the beers that we get and we review, we always put and I think this is why beers like this get a bit dusty in the cupboard, because we always look to review the fresh, hoppy stuff first. Not that I prefer fresh New England IPA style beers, double IPAs, that sort of thing. I don't necessarily prefer it over beers like this. I like to think as my palate, of my beer drinking journey, that I've learned enough about beer that I can love Saison. I love Belgian triples and, you know, imperial stouts and lots of the other styles, you know, more of malt and yeast forward beers rather than just drinking hoppy beer. But what we have here on the channel is, if I was to drink all the Saisons first, all the stouts and the porters, then the hoppy stuff, well, you're never really going to get round to reviewing it. You're never really going to get round to reviewing New England IPA, because it wouldn't be fair on the brewer. And that's the situation we find ourselves in, is that it just wouldn't be fair, because the hops would drop out. I'd be saying, well, this is not really a great New England IPA, and it's ultimately, yeah, just not fair. So that's a little explanation really as to why I've taken so long to get round to this beer. But again, one more time, it's a beer that doesn't mind a little bit of age, especially at 6.5% ABV. And now we're drinking the beer with all of the sediment in, and this is going to be more of a tube. I'll tip it too much to show you the yeast. Can you see? Let me bring it into focus. There, can you see that little particle of yeast? If I turn the beer around, try and get the camera to focus on the beer rather than my face. That's the problem with these cameras. They're trying to focus on your face all the time. But here we go. Look at all that yeast in the bottom of the glass. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful looking beer. Nice and hazy now. Let's try it with all the yeast in. Oh! Beautiful, even better, even better. With the ability to get all of the yeast from the bottom of the bottle. There's no yeast cake in the bottom of this bottle, but with the ability to get into this now, really mix things up and really try that. I was talking earlier on about this being a yeast forward beer. Getting all of that sediment in, all of that yeast has just put more of that yeast flavour, kind of funkiness, that horse blanketiness, more into focus. That's great. It's great. I really like that. Really like that beer from Nøgne. One of my favourite breweries from Norway. One of the original, if not the original, craft brewers in Norway. Yes, some of you might cry they're owned by a bigger brewery now, but for me they're still producing superb quality beer. Nøgne Belgian style Saison. I like that enough too. I like that enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!